Alright, so I'm going to be replacing the charge port on this Chromebook 113180. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is remove all the screws from the bottom using a PH or JIS1 screwdriver. Okay, so just remove all these screws. You do want to keep them in order because they can be different size, shape, and length. Okay. Alright, so let's just remove these screws. It looks like that screw is stuck in there. Okay, so it looks like those screws actually hold themselves in place. I don't know if they're all like that. It seems like it. Okay. Alright, so just remove all those screws. It looks like there's only 6 of them, and they do seem to hold themselves in place. Once you remove those 6 screws, you're going to open up the screen, or technically you don't need to do that, but I get my fingernails in this little gap here between this gray part and then the bottom cover, and then I push with my thumb on the back here, avoiding the trackpad. Okay, so just like this. Let's see if I can show this. There we go, just like that. Okay, so there you can see the cover comes up pretty easily. We're going to go around, and then we're going to go to the edges, and then while we're kind of pulling up the cover, just kind of slide your fingernail or pry tool around there. Okay, just like that. Same thing going along here. Okay, this side seems a little more tough. I might have to actually use the method of pushing from the outside, from this side. Okay, so same thing, fingernails in there, and then push on the back, and yes, it's coming out now. There we go. So we got the cover up. The back is still holding itself in a little bit. Oops, I missed one screw here, sorry. So there's actually 7 screws. Alright, now we can hopefully, there we go, wiggle that off, and the bottom cover is off. So now we're going to replace the charge port, because here you can see the charge port is broken and the pins in there got smashed. So we're going to replace that. The RAM, SSD, everything seems to be soldered to this board. I don't see any removable components here. So it looks like this actually isn't upgradable at all. Like, I don't see any removable components. I mean, it might be possible there's something under here, but from the outside I don't see anything, and under this piece I don't see anything. Okay, anyways, we're gonna replace the charge port. It looks like there's 2 screws here. Might have to switch to a, oh, okay, never mind, this screwdriver still works. Okay, we'll set those screws aside. Again, keep the screws in order. It looks like we only have to keep track of 2 of these screws. And then hopefully we should be able to lift this out. Oops, I took the wrong screw out. Just wondering why it wasn't coming up. So let's tighten this back down. Alright, we'll remove this screw that's holding the charge port in place. So we got just the 2 screws there. Then hopefully we can lift this out. Yep. Okay, and then this connector, to remove this, let me zoom in. Normally what I would do, I would rotate it like this, and then I would use my fingernails to kind of grab this and kind of just wiggle it. Since it's kind of already broken, if you want, you can actually just grab the cable and just wiggle it as you pull it, just like this. Okay, alright, and just keep wiggling it as you keep pulling, and eventually it pops out just like that. Okay, so we got the replacement here. So here you can see the replacement has this plastic piece inside. Okay, so that's the difference. We're going to just plug this one back in. Okay, you can't plug it upside down because it has this plastic piece sticking up. Right, just get that in, and then use the lip of that to use your fingernail to push it in, or whatever tool you got. But I squeeze the 2 together, because if you push all the force that way, sometimes these connectors don't stick down to the board well, and then it can break off. Right, now that we got that, we're just gonna slide this back into place. Okay, it goes underneath. The cable does bend slightly, so keep that in mind. Push this under there, and then there's a little notch here that you want to line that up with. Okay, just like that. Push that down. Okay, so now we're just going to put the 2 screws back in there. Alright. Make sure to hold it down so it doesn't move around as you're putting the screw in place. Alright, and that's all there is to this. So yeah, this is actually pretty easy to replace. The battery here, if you want to replace it, seems to be one of these more common models. So the model number is 51KD7. Okay. And this battery, it has this connector here. So if you do replace it, just like with the charge port connector, you have this, you kind of have to wiggle to pull it out. I usually will use my fingernails there. And you just take these screws out to pull the battery out. But there's not much else you can do with this. There's the headphone jack here, the speakers here if they somehow break, and the rest seems to be part of the motherboard. So including the wireless card that's also soldered to the board. So yeah, not much else you can do. We're just gonna put it back together. All right, just get that. Clip all of this back together. All right, and then we'll just tighten the screws back down. All right, make sure all the clips go back in place. There we go. Alright, and as you can hear while I'm putting the screws in, it's actually causing more of the clips to close down all the way. Alright, and that's all there is to it. So hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, please like and subscribe, help others find my videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Again, just go around, check, make sure everything looks clipped in. And yep, alright, see you guys later. Bye.